Ladies, gentlemen, we're back with a controversial video. Ults. We all use ults, or most of us anyway. Potentially not short bows if you run in that sort of style. But there's one ult that on every class that 99% of the time doesn't get used, apart from Poleaxe, I'd say. Poleaxe's Lockerbie Strikes or Rough Justice is probably the one hit weapon that I think actually has kind of two ults that you can use for two different situations. So today, controversially, and don't flame me in the comments because I know some of these ideas will be horrendous, and yeah, but I'd like to hear what you think in the comments and what you would do personally with the class. So we're going to take the ults that don't get used and design new ults. We're just going to talk about it and see what we'd potentially do. So enough said, let's have a look at the ults. We're starting with Short Sword. Now Short Sword, we obviously have Thunderstruck. Thunderstruck is probably one of the most useful ults in the game. 45-second cooldown, explode shield balls, really increase your defense. It does a lot. It's, yeah, really good. Would not change anything about that. But Battle Drill, yeah, I would change this. So my idea for this, bear with me, would be to so I'm playing off the fact that Short Sword is a complete tank and has yeah, is basically unkillable for something. So we're going to add in an ult called Stone Form, and basically what this does, it's a complete point sitter for, like, it's similar to Ironsides, but what it does is it makes you extremely slow. You penalty yourself by putting a slow on, but it basically turns you into iron. So when you sit on the point, you're very hard to kill. Kind of random and kind of not that great, but you know, I'm not a main Short Sword, so I'm just kind of going off what I think would look cool. Maybe it just makes you immobile, but turns you into a rock, or something like that. But I'm sure Short Swords in the comments can figure out something better to replace Battle Drill. So let me know what you'd like. Maybe I was thinking another one that I had an idea for this would be Weapon Chain. That basically your sword that you've got there goes on a chain with your shield. It gives you a really big area of effect with some other things. But yeah, I'd like to hear your comments for that one because it's not that confident with this one. Glaive. First off, Flying Reaper. It's a cool ability, but I would, one, reduce cooldown to 45 seconds. Take 5 seconds off. Going to be nice to Coffee Fuel Gaming. He'll be pleased about that. Secondly, I would like maybe something to stop it being interrupted. I know Glaive's getting super pissed off with that being interrupted, but apart from that, maybe a damage increase just to make them even more happy. Back to the old days. Apart from that, we're not doing anything. That's, I think, we're not changing Flying Reaper. Hail of Blades. I know some people like to use this, so you know, if you like using this, I'm sorry, but what I would change this to, and this again, I don't play Glaive, so this is just what I think would look cool. I'm sure the Glaive players in the comments, as I said with the Short Sword, will come up with something better than I can. But this is just what I think would be cool. So Hail of Blades will turn into a move that we'll call Impalement, and you basically jab your Glaive into the person and you lift them up and then you throw them. There's no moving, there's no maul running around. It's just it's a 50-second cooldown Impalement. You pull them up, does some damage, and you throw them. So if you're in the right position, you can throw them off the wall, or do something like that. Gives you a bit of kind of CC potential. So that would be my Glaive one. It would look sick as well. It would look really cool. So that's that one. And then now we're going to move on to Pike. Pike. We only have well, we have 2 ultimates here. My 2 are nerfs. I would increase Green Dragon to a 40-second cooldown. Just think it's insanely powerful. And then Cold Dragon. Not really too sure what I'd do with this, because they both do something. I know everyone uses Green Dragon because it's so good, but maybe with that nerf, people might consider using this, because I don't mind Cold Dragon on a 28-second cooldown. That's fine, but this thing, Green Dragon, just feels so strong, so strong. But again, Pike players are going to hate me for that. I can't actually think of anything. Maybe if I was to change one of them, it'd be Cold Dragon, and we'd change it to like where you put your Pike in the ground and it makes a huge, like it becomes a huge anti-cav thing. Something to do with probably anti-ing cav. Like maybe you become really slow, but any cav you hit will you turn basically into a Fortebraccio. Bit of utility, I don't know. Pike is a very difficult one. Just the way it's set out, it's changing anything would affect the entire class. So, but yeah, maybe more of a nerf than anything. Bow is also pretty hard, but because I know everyone used to use exploding arrow, but now a lot of people are using lightning bolt. I'd probably increase the damage. I don't think I'll change anything about longbow in terms of the 2 ults. I think they both do. I think maybe I'll change a few things with them. One exploding arrow, I'd make it do more damage. Because at the moment, it feels unfair that exploding arrow does such little damage, and then musket's bomb does quite a lot more, when technically they're the same thing, maybe with a little bit less explosion. But it doesn't have to do the same damage, but just it seems kind of like 76% of your base piercing plus 1,700. And when we read the musket one, like it's a lot more. So I'd probably just buff that, and then lightning bolt. I'm gonna probably keep lightning bolt. Maybe I'd give it a function that lets you zoom in and have like almost a sniper thing. Maybe give it no drop off. But yeah, I don't think there's much I could change about bow, unfortunately. Dual blades, myself. Mark of Death, wouldn't touch a thing. That people would be very disappointed to hear, but I wouldn't touch a thing. But Dance for Death it's like the animation's cool and 90% slow is cool, but you're a leather wearer. You literally need to be stunning people, otherwise any hits on you is you can, like, a maul can 3-shot me, and it's all over. Maybe even 2 if they got more strength, then yeah, they can 2-shot me. It's pretty bad. Like a dual blade versus dual blade is literally whoever gets marked to death first. But anyway, I would change Dance for Death for death from. I'd change it to an ability called Death from Above, and this would have a benefit and a non-benefit. So it would make the dual blades jump on the enemy's shoulder and start stabbing downwards. Right, so you're on their shoulders. But the downside is the enemy now can carry you about. So it's like a reverse maul carry. So you've got to make sure you're going to kill the person, or they're going to run you into their team or into their troops. But I just think it would add another cool, usable thing. Because I know a lot of people will hate this as a thing, but the fact this needs to stun you is because we didn't have this stunning you, you can turn around and be clapped so easily. Like, you try playing this as a dual blades, and yeah, it's going to be hard to win a lot of fights. It is possible, of course, but yeah, you need the right circumstances. So yeah, Death from Above is what we'd do for dual blades. A sort of reverse carry, neck stabby, shoulder carry thing. But it would have the downside of that you could be ran into enemies, but it would look sick and it'd be awesome. Jumping off a tower and then hitting it, and hopefully glitching the game out to go mid-air straight onto someone's shoulders. So that's another one. And actually, if we go back again, it'd be cool if it glitched out and they got on their horse and you're still on their back stabbing them. I think that would be sick. Anyway, that's Dual Blades, Death from Above. Musket. musket. Oh yeah, let's look at the bomb. So yeah, the bomb deals 400% base blunt damage and 4,000 thingies. So that's why I was saying that I feel like a bit sorry for the explosive arrow. You know, it needs a buff. If it just doesn't seem fair. I know you can shoot it further, but 400% and 4,900. So, in my opinion, there's something there. There's something that needs to be changed there. Not for the musket. I think that's fine for the musket. 5 rounds rapid. I have used this, and actually I have a lot of fun with it when I used to play musket. But I would probably change this to. There's a few ideas I had. There would be. I'd change it either to another bomb that would be a cluster bomb or fragmentation grenade. That's like much more of a like bleed. Everything bleeds. Instead of a knockback, you throw it in. It probably can stagger. We'll make it stagger, but you throw it in and it goes. You know, that would be the fragmentation grenade. Or I would change it to an ability that you click, similar to marksman on the longbow, but better. So like you click it for 10 seconds, it makes your reloads on the musket. Instead of being 2 seconds, there's 0.5 seconds. So you can actually, you know, shoot, reload, shoot, reload, shoot, and you probably get 5 or 6 shots off beforehand. But, you know, the problem with that is it's still going to lack compared to the black powder. So potentially you would need something that also does a knockdown. Maybe like power shot. Power shot would be quite cool. That just... kind of similar to fine powder, but it's so powerful it knocks them off their feet. More of a single target thing, but obviously does more damage than that. Give you another instantly shoot like the creme de la creme of powder, and it just no drop off either. Just make it. Oh, side note actually, 5 round rapid doesn't have a drop off. Like the damage is the same from max distance as it is from close up. That's a fun thing to note. But yeah, maybe like a power shot that knocks people over and can knock like multiple targets in a row over. Sniper shot, no drop off. Or you could call it like slug. That'd be another one actually. You could that it would turn your musket into a sniper for 10 seconds. There'd be no drop off. You could literally hit people from the other side, like not the other side of the map, but like a lot further away than a musket shoots currently. There's a lot you could do with musket. I feel like 5 round rapid was a bit of a cop out. I think you could definitely add a lot here. But if you're a main musket, I'd love to hear what you would replace 5 round rapid with. It'd be really interesting to hear. Again, my ideas are going to suck compared to yours because you play it full on. The only one I like is my Death from Above. Okay, short bow. Now this is probably the one that I'm least confident on. Maybe Pike's probably that, but this is up there. I think everyone at the moment's using Angry Hornets. I don't find the short bow ults very interesting. I think Wrath of Archimedes looks cool, but I think it could be better. Maybe something similar to the Death from Above actually would be really cool. Replace Wrath of Archimedes to like the short bow version of Death from Above, where you jump on their shot. You do what I would say a Legolas. You know when he's on top of the elephant or whatever it's called in Lord of the Rings, and he like gets three arrows and fires it down into the head while he's on top. Maybe you run up to someone, you jump on their back, and you fire an arrow down into them. Same sort of thing. The penalty is that you're now on their back, so you're under their control, but you're also about to do a shit ton of damage down the top of them, and the penalty is you have to get in close to do it, but also the payoff is huge. Could be quite cool. Again, short bows, let me know what you would replace Wrath of Archimedes for. Yeah, I want to hear. Because I was thinking about this before I made the video, and this was quite a difficult one, because I just think both the ults are kind of boring. So if you want to put 2 in, that would be great. I want to hear what you think. Nadachi. I think Avalanche is cool in theory. Like, it kind of makes sense, and I can't think of anything I would change it for. And then so Dragon Leap is also, I mean, the buff for Dragon Leap is good, but I don't really understand, because it's basically exactly the same as the Pike ult, the Green Dragon, except the Green Dragon's on a 30-second cooldown, and this is on a 50-second cooldown. That doesn't really make much sense to me. It feels a little bit unfair. So if I was changing anything about this, I'd change it down. If the Pike one didn't get buffed, I'd change this down to maybe a 40-second cooldown, just to fair it up a little bit. But if I had to design an ult for Nadachi, I would call it Skewer or Kebab. And the way this would work would be similar to how Bloodthirsty goes in for a slash, except they stay on your weapon and you sort of just spin them around a bit, and you can like skewer like multiple people on the end of your Nadachi. Weird, I know, and would look strange, but I'm sure there would be a function you could do with it, just like turn them into shish kebab. Again, we're adding kind of more stuns to the game that kind of sucks, but I think it would look cool. But it's kind of hard with Nadachi, because I think Avalanche really suits the playstyle of the class in terms of just going all out, you know, slashing. But yeah, it's kind of, the problem is obviously if you get your animation locked to that and someone rolls away, you now can't get in them. But great for jumping into units and doing, you know, especially when you got Bloodthirsty up and you're suckling that health. But yeah, maybe Skewer. Skewer would be a cool one. Yeah, Skewer. That's what I'm going to go for this. But again, Nadachis, let me know what you would like. Poleaxe I can't actually do anything with, funny enough. Thinking about it, Poleaxe is the probably only class I would say that has the two ultimates that work, and you can like the main aim of this would be to get the ultimates up to a level where I pick this for this situation, or I'll pick this for this situation. And Lockerbie Strikes, good for obviously killing heroes as well as knocking down shield walls, just a general utility that Rough Justice doesn't have. Like, Rough Justice has the one role that is to pin heroes down and kill them, where like if you're in a very unit heavy game, you're hindering yourself by taking Rough Justice, because Lockerbie Strikes can actually help kill units and knock the front down, and if you use it in conjunction with your unit, it's really, really powerful. So there's not really much I would do. I mean, if I was going to replace one of these, I'd replace Rough Justice with probably a skill that actually uses the end, like the actual axe part of your poleaxe, because that's one thing that always annoys me about the poleaxe, is that you've got like push using the wooden, you know, shaft. You've got pull or bill hook that obviously pulls them towards you, not using the axe. The only ability that uses the axe is Back to Corbin, and the cooldown's too long for me on that. Cooldown, I reduce the damage a bit if you want to, but I feel like it needs to be like a 16-second cooldown. Just 22 seconds. I want to do AoE. I want to be a big axe boy. But they also have a lot of knockdowns, so it's a controversial one. But yeah, I wouldn't do anything about their ults. I think their ults are you got the best choice between two as that class. Now, Longsword, Mr. Sane Bren's, the famous Sane Bren, his favorite class, favorite weapon, even class left over from my WoW days. Clash of Shields. Not going to change anything about that. Clash of Shields is just utility, great. Knockdown, great. Cav charge, great. If I was going to do anything, I might make the charge last slightly longer, maybe a second longer. But apart from that, I think it's great. I think it does what it says on the tin. So happy about that. Sally Forth, looks cool. Kind of difficult to land, but hits like a truck. I've been hit by the end result of this, and it hurts. It hurts. But what I would quite like to see instead of Sally Forth for Longsword would be something more utility-wise for not damage, more to give them another heal or something, secondary heal. So you can really go down the fantasy of being a full-on like healer. You take, you're taking Mercy of Heaven, and then you're taking whatever we're going to call this one. Let's call this Paladin. No, because they got Paladin, don't they? They do have Paladin already. Let's just call it heal, and it's like an actual heal. I mean, we'll give it a good enough cooldown, but like a nice AoE heal. So you can go, maybe you can go for something like Knightly Vow, Mercy of Heaven, and heal. And then you can really fulfill the kind of buffing role. Take some bagpipes with you or some alchemists, and then go full on sort of support class. Because I know a lot of guys would actually like that. So yeah, I would give longswords another heal. But I'd like to hear what they think actually on that. If maybe they'll totally disagree and would like something pure damage. I don't know, turn into Super Saiyan or something. Right, Pike. Not Pike, Spear. Spear. Dragon's Roar already, I'd probably increase its damage. I think it's been overly nerfed. I mean, it's fine when you do it to a leather wearer, a light armor. But when you start getting into the mediums and then definitely the heavies, I've noticed it sort of just scratches the surface. And speaking of scratching, it's one of the only ults I've seen that can be blocked. That you can put your shield up and it goes ding 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 ding. And I'm not a fan of that. If you're using an ult, if everyone else can use an ult and it doesn't get blocked, then this shouldn't either. You shouldn't be able to put your shield up and block it. That I just think that's super unfair. And then you've got Heaven's Fury. That on paper looks like it does a hell of a lot of damage. But the pushback just negates all of that. You push people away from your damage. It doesn't make any sense. So, yeah, I would 100% be getting rid of Heaven's Fury. I mean, it's probably good when you're in a big stack of units, but animation lock, you could be stopped by a kick. It's just too easy to get out of. So my replacement for it would probably be Javelin. That would be obviously you've got your kick, that is Proctor's Gift. That's pretty cool, but this one would allow you to basically Javelin and then pin someone to the ground. Or I would have for this one not similar to it, but the idea I had on the short sword with a weapon chain, I would have one that you kick the same, and it's got a chain on the back of your spear, goes through your target, and then you can heave them back and pull them down. I think would be a cool one, because what I feel, spears are great, don't get me wrong, but the one thing that they miss is that they don't have like a reliable knockdown via their diving off their mount and pinning you to the ground. So it'd be quite cool for them to have an ult where they kick their spear or throw their spear with a chain on it, and then they pull you over with it. They can't drag you to them or anything. They just kick it and pull. It would probably have to be on a 50-second cooldown though, because that's super powerful when someone's running away. You could do a double kick. You could do Proctor's Gift and then kick your spear and drag them down. Be pretty cool. It would be pretty cool. So that's what I'd do for them. Kick, spear, weapon chain. Let's call it spear chain. And now onto our final one, that is Maul. Mauly. Okay, the first thing I'd do, strike and grapple. We all hate it. We hate being grabbed. Unless you're a Maul, you hate it. But I'm not going to be mean and say we're getting rid of that. What we're going to do with that is, I just think when you grab someone, there should be a penalty to it slightly. But it seems to be that you can grab someone and then run off willy-nilly like Usain Bolt. I think when you grab someone, you should have a slow put on you, 30%, 40% slow. At least that means if your friends are nearby and they can stop it, they have more of an opportunity instead of them literally yeeting you and sprinting off. So yeah, that's what I changed for Stone Grapple, a 30% slow while you're carrying someone. It's not a huge slow, it's not going to affect that much, it's just so your friends can potentially save you if you get grabbed. And then Forge of War. Forge of War, if it was instant, just not a like swing around, and then like if it wasn't like this, if you didn't have to do like a swing and a build up to it, then I'd say great. But what we're going to change this for is throwing them all. You do like an up strike and you throw them all, and then maybe we put another chain on it. Throw them all. You throw it into a shield wall, and then you pull it back and it knocks the shield wall towards you. So it's a bit more of an aimed knockdown. Yeah, let's make it. You throw them all on the other side. It acts like an anchor. Let's call it anchor. Actually, let's call it anchor. So again, we're loving the chains today. But what it will do is you throw your anchor on the other side of the shield wall, and then kind of like maybe a 5 to 4 stack of people in front get pulled towards you and pulls a nice hole in the shield wall. Can be used on players, units. Let's say it's got a 10-yard distance. I think it would be a cool one. It would add a bit of utility in terms of you can be a bit out of the battle and still contribute. But again, it's hard with Maul because you're not going to not take grab. The grab is so powerful that basically what makes Maul. So, but that's just my idea. Yeah, anchor. Let's go with that. Let's go with that. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. Thank you for dealing with my ideas. I know some of them are out there, and they'll never happen. This is all just because I thought it'd be nice to look through alts and see what we'd do to change them if we could. So yeah, I know probably some of them are going to annoy you if you're the class. Just remember, it's not going to happen. And I would love to hear your ideas about what you would like from if we were to change one of the alts on, or the useless alt on your class. I'd love to hear your ideas. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.